All right, guys, we're here with another video. Welcome back. And today let's talk about another headset. This one is going to be Life Note 3 by Soundcore Anker. Now you can find these for $79.99, excuse me. And of course I got them for a discount, a major discount, and we're going to talk about that right after the drop. So stay tuned and let's talk some specs. Now, what I will say is I'm doing something a little bit different. I probably should have did this right away on my channel, but I will start putting the actual timestamps so you guys can skip to whatever section that you want. In the description, you don't have to be forced to watch the entire video. Now, with that being said, this is, like I said, $79.99. I actually purchased it for, what are we talking about here? $15 on sale. I actually got them at a pawn shop. We buy everything. So for anyone that's actually heard about that pawn shop, they sell a lot of different types of products. I'm lucky enough to go there on a regular basis and see them. So that is something to think about whenever you're looking for a particular product. We're just taking a look at how it is. Unfortunately, it didn't have a box or anything. So we're just going to do the description, then we're going to talk some tech specs. We're going to do a voice recording to actually see how well it sounds. And then we're going to do some music to let you know basically how the headset actually performs compared to some of the other Anker headsets. Because Anker headphones tend to have beautiful, rich sound. And this definitely delivers in that aspect. And I really don't have anything negative to say about it, but we're still going to go ahead and do the review. So if we're looking at the design of it itself, these are very similar, excuse the little lint, to the P2 minis or the Life Note 3, Life Note Cs or Life Note Es. Very, very similar. The difference is that these do have extra features. Of course, it does have touch controls. It has a much longer stem, active noise cancellation, amongst other things, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But if you look at the headset, it has that same similar design, open ear design, where when you slide them in, you don't have any issues in terms of pain or anything like that. The case itself, surprisingly, does not have wireless charging, which is one of the things that I just didn't understand, that, it didn't have it for an $80 price tag. But when you see what it does actually come with, it basically evens itself out. So I can't even be mad at that. I like the way the case looks with the finish, has that texturized feel. Not at the bottom, but more so on the sides. Well, the top more so has the texturized feel and part of the side. So I do like how that is. You're going to get smudges on this if you look at it up close. But the difference is that because this is actually a blue color, no, it's not black, it's actually a blue color. Can't say if it comes in other colors because, again, I got this used, so I'm not mad about that. It does have just a nice finish. Like what I've noticed is that Anker, especially with the Life Note 3S, these have almost similar cases when we're talking about just how it opens, the little buttons on the front, not the button, but the little indicator to let you know how charged the headset is. The indicator when you pop it inside, it'll let you know which side is charging, things like that. This does a very, very good job of just looking very, very modern, similar to Galaxy Buds in my opinion, and Anker just, what are there to say? I'm stuttering. They deliver when it comes to actual design on the headset. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to do video segments. We're going to switch over and talk some actual tech specs in a moment. All right, guys, so if we're talking about tech specs, what this has is actually pretty good. These do have, we'll just kind of show you the headset as I spin it around, so this video won't be too boring. Active noise cancellation, which it blocks out 90% of the sound based on what specifications that this thing actually has. And it does do a very good job of doing that because when I'm on a subway or amongst other places, I can't hear a lot of the noise that happens around me, like the noise of the train screeching constantly. It does a very good job of just blocking that sound out. And while listening to music, I don't have to put it any more than maybe 40 to 50% of the volume because noise cancellation does a good job of, again, blocking out the noise. Of course, if you have it above that, it is possible that you can damage your eardrums or it could be sore after time. So just be aware of the fact that bass volume constantly being thumped in your head does actually cause earaches. These are IPX5. So for those that are trying to splash liquids, running out in the rain, not saying you should, going to the gym, things like that, you should be perfectly fine. Just make sure you wipe the headset when you're done because the case itself doesn't say if it's IP, but the headset is actually IP. And of course, this is a little touch button right here, which we are going to go through the controls very, very soon. It has 22 equalizer options. Now you may say 22. It's an actual application that you download, which I'm going to walk you through that when we sync these headphones to the actual phone. And what that normally does is it allows you to change the equalizer in addition to actually set the equalizer up the way you want to, if you want to manually do that also. But it's based on the sound, how you like things, and how you prefer hearing your music. They do have 11 millimeter drivers, which I believe the last ones were 10. The Life Note E's, I could be wrong about that. But the point is that it does a very good job of generating decent bass inside of this particular headset. So you do get the thumps and booms and everything that you normally would listening to rock music and heavy rap beats. They do have fast charging, about 10 minutes, I believe. Yes, 10 minutes will give you 2 hours of actual playtime. So if you pop this in a case like so and it's dead, you give it about 10 minutes, it'll actually charge up your entire, not your entire headset, but it'll give you 2 hours out of the 7 hours that the headset gives you per charge. Either ear can be used in mono mode or stereo. It could be used together separately, doesn't really make a difference. You get 35 hours total. So you're looking at 28 in the case, and you're looking at 7 in the actual earbud, which is similar to what a lot of the other Anker products has. Ankers are normally about 7 to 8 hours on the average, depending on which headset you have. So with that being said, those are the tech specs of this particular headset. I believe it's Bluetooth 5.0 or 5.1. I forget the exact Bluetooth version. But again, I don't have an issue with that. I'm using an iPhone 13. I don't have any connectivity issues, never have, not even once since I've had the headset. Let me put that in the camera. And everything works pretty good. So what we're going to do next is a actual voice profile to see how well it sounds during recordings and things, and how it's going to sound during a phone call by actually talking into the speaker itself. All right, guys, so this right here is going to be the sound test for this particular headset. Now, I was having little issues, not issues connecting it, but I was having issues, I'll keep the voice up. I was actually having issues just trying to get the settings proper on this headset. At the moment I connected it to, let's say, a PC, I had to manually change my headphone settings, unfortunately. But let's just talk about a couple things with this headset while the game is actually loading. First things first, let's do a basic casual file. All right, so first things first, they're super comfortable. If you had the P2 minis, or if you had the Life Note C's, Life Note E's, these are going to feel identical to those in terms of feel inside of your ear. I have it, so if we're talking about the ear ache gang and the people having issues wearing them for long periods of time, if you can wear those, you should be fine with the make sure I get this correctly, Life Note 3s. You should be perfectly fine with that headset. Now, granted, it does have a longer stem, as you can see. The only reason I'm not wearing it in 2 ears is because active note, the ANC, automatically pops up if I put it in both ears, and it feels like I'm talking louder than what I need to. But they are extremely comfortable. I don't have any issues with ear fatigue. I actually wore them for about 4 to 5 hours at work purposely just to see how they felt. Now, granted, I mean, you might feel some discomfort wearing anything in your ear for that long, and there's nothing you can actually do about that. That's just life, and it's unnatural to have stuff in your ear for that long, in my opinion. But these feel very good. And of course, you're not supposed to have headphones in your ear forever. You're supposed to pop them back inside of the case, as you can see, whenever you're done. So with that being said, that's that section of this video. Now, the next one is what you're hearing right now is basically how the audio is going to sound if you're using these for recording purposes. Now, granted, I don't let me actually make sure this is in decent set. Yep, see, look at that. It's too high. No, I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't care. For video sake, I'm going to leave it alone. And what I've noticed about this particular headset is that, what's the word we're looking for here? It sounds good. In my opinion, it actually sounds very good. You can hear everything just fine, like a typical Soundcore headset. If we're talking about just quality of sound in general for things like music, we are going to get into that in the next section of this video. But, you know, it does a very good job of having that extra oomph in the bass. Personally, I think these sound louder and definitely better than the Life Note C's, the P2 minis. Now, and the music comes out a lot clearer. I noticed that with the other headsets, it sounds good, but they can sound a little, not cloudy, but you can definitely tell that it's not the highest quality of sound for the products that they release. So the more you go up in price, the better you're going to get, obviously, for most headsets. That's how it normally is. For this particular one, it's no different. But if you decide to use these for, let's say, game recording or things like that, be aware of the fact that you might have to change your settings up to match how you want things to turn out. Because I did notice that I had to actually connect the Bluetooth, then go to the settings and actually change my Blue Yeti mic to this microphone, and it was a little process. Nothing difficult. Oh, this thing's skipping. Nothing difficult, but yeah, it was a little pain.
Welcome. You're sure to find something new.
This is basically the guy that sells you weapons in Red Deep Village for those that haven't played it. But anyway, like I was saying, with that being said, let me go ahead and try to the word I'm looking for here. Let me go ahead and try to hop to the next section of the video so we can actually talk about how it sounds musically when listening to certain songs in real time. All right, guys, so you saw that section of the video, so you can definitely tell that obviously these are better than AirPods or Galaxy Buds when it comes to call quality or recording quality. If you use a Galaxy Bud or an AirPod, it's super, super crispy clear, like you're talking directly into your phone yourself. So what we're going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to show you how to sync it, and we're going to use the actual application. So, also, we're going to go ahead and play music from it. Of course, it's going to be in my ear for copyright reasons, but the music that I'm using is actually going to be stuff that I personally made, because YouTube has a funny way of, even if you don't play music out loud, someone wants to copyright something because they want some YouTube money. So when you open up the case and you see it in this section right here, that means it's in search mode or sync mode, however you want to say it. So you'll go to your connections, Bluetooth, depending on the device that you have. Let me go ahead and do this because I'm looking at the phone. Try to do it the proper way. You have the Life Note 3, it pops right up. It will sync, give it a moment. Most devices will ask you, do you want to link to it? Apple will just sync right away when you tap it, and I don't think it actually asks you, do you want to? If you already tapped it, it will do it for you. So the difference is with Android devices, you'll just go to the settings and you can see how much battery meters remaining. While if you decide to use this with Apple, you would just swipe to the left, where obviously when you swipe over, it's a news feed, and you actually can see the battery meter of whatever device that you have if you have it set up that way. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is go to the Soundcore application right here. Now there's no device. I don't have an internet connection because this phone is actually dead. It found it because it's already connected. So you're going to hit connect. It's going to go through its processes. It's going to give you instructions about how to put it in your ear. As you can see, you put it in, do a little twist right there. You're good to go. Just have a few modes. So when we're looking at gaming modes, do that one first. It reduces latency and enhances sound of footsteps and voices. So what that means is for you gamers out there that's playing Call of Duty and other things, you'll be able to hear, you know how a perfect example is there's a perk in Call of Duty that allows you to actually hear footsteps closer towards you, right? So you can hear the boots, whether it's an enemy, preferably enemy or like an ally. This will allow you to actually be more immersed in what you're doing. So everything from footsteps in gaming mode, everything from playing certain games with subtle noises, monsters, things like that. It's just going to give you a better all-around experience when you're using games. Now, what I will say with gaming mode is it is possible for it to drop signal, like disconnect, because it's more concerned about the quality of sound than the connection. But realistically, we don't have to keep it on gaming mode at all or all the time. And I personally haven't had any issues using gaming mode with these. Of course, I've been using this actual headset with my iPhone, the iPhone 13. So that's why I'm just connected with this for the first time to show you guys how to go through it. So one of the other things is, let's knock this out of the way right now. When you go to settings, you have the option for touch tone. That means that you could turn off the actual touch features of the headset. If you're not a person where I don't care about touch features, I want to answer from my phone or my watch or whatever it is, you do have the option to do that. You have firmware update. I don't want to tap it just in case it does have an update. Last time I checked, it was fine. But for video purposes, I'm not going to tap that. Now, you do have your quick start guide, which actually shows you, well, there's no internet connection, so you can't actually see how to use it. But that's actually kind of sad. But we'll go through controls and things like that. So when it comes to ambient sound, you have the option between these three options: outdoor, indoor, transport. Now, if you put them inside your ear, if you're on a train, you're going to probably want to do transport because it lowers the noises. If you're outdoor, it'll let's say birds are chirping and certain things are going on, you're not around a lot of heavy locomotives and things like that, it'll block out a lot of the sound, just natural nature, wind blowing. Well, wind blowing is determines if it blows into your speaker, but it does do a good job of blocking a lot of the outdoor sounds. And indoor is just like I said, coffee shops, small spaces. You hear backdrops, people talking, cash registers dinging. It'll do a good job of mellowing out that sound. So personally, I keep it on transport myself, the heaviest setting, and I never switch it because I'm just lazy and I don't want to do that. Of course, it has your transparency mode where you can hear all the sounds around you. Vocal mode allows you to hear more sounds, just the voices of people talking to you. So let's say you decide to keep your headset in your ear. You can put these settings on where it'll feel like, hey, I'm walking outside and I don't have earbuds in my ear. But if someone calls me, I have the option to actually, make that call or answer it, and I can still be aware of my surroundings, and someone will bop you in the back of your head. So be aware of that. And normal is normal, just like if you had no setting on or if you had a headset that had no active noise cancellation whatsoever. What I will also say is that this headset does not have in-ear detection, and that means if you put it in your ear, it'll know it's in your ear and then connect. And if you take it out, it'll disconnect to save battery. You just open up the case and it automatically connects, which I'm perfectly fine with that. That's not life or death. When it comes to the equalizer settings, you have your default bass, you have acoustic, you have all these settings right here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you have all these settings right here. So that's when they say you had 22, it's right here. You also have your customizable setting where if you decide to change the bass, change certain things. Again, I'm not a music mathematician, so you have to listen to it and change it accordingly based on how you want. Some people have equalizer settings where they know what they want already, and that's for more so the music lover. But for me, I just keep mine normally on bass up and I'm good to go. All right, here we have the controls. Now, again, we have options for single tap, double tap, and hold for 2 seconds. You can change these however you choose to. These are the options that they give you. Nothing super crazy like pause and play, things like that. For the double tap, these are the default ones. You remember, you can change these however you want to make it easier for you to play. You can change it to ambient sound. You can change it to noise cancellation, to turn it on and off. You have many, many, many options. And hold for 2 seconds, here you are. So you can switch it between noise cancellation and ambient if you hold the button for 2 seconds, which makes things a lot easier than having to manually pull your phone out and actually go to the settings to change it. That is a lot of work to have to do that. So it does have touch controls. To me, the touch controls feel very simple. There's been times where I put them inside my ear and I did accidentally tap the touch and it started playing music. But after a while, you get used to it, especially if you hold it toward the bottom of the stem right here and put it in your ear, and you won't actually touch the touch controls, which is more closer to the actual little Anker sign on the actual headset. So for right here, you have your fit tests. It actually tells you how to put them in your ear, and it does a little test to let you know if the sounds are coming in properly. The reason, I know it sounds crazy, but the reason for that is a lot of times people will put earphones in their ears and you can still hear things going on around you, especially with active noise cancellation. And people say, oh, it doesn't work that well. Well, no. What happens is they're not properly fit in your ear, so you don't get that seal where like that vacuum where you can't hear anything around you. But if you put headphones in properly, and you twist them a certain way and you're playing music to do a test, trust me, when the music evens out, that means you did it correctly. And lastly, in this application, we have Sleep Superior. Now, these are like sleep noises and things of ambient noises. So you know how they have those sleep machines where you can just hear birds chirping and different things. You do have the option to do that with this particular headset also. Now, what I will say is I'm not going to play this because of copyright reasons, but if you decide to use this application, you want to hear a fan, you want to hear water dripping, you want to hear a little shower, wind blowing. I'm doing it with my own mouth, birds. You can definitely do that. So it does give you a lot of options. That's why Anker is actually my favorite. I will say it's my favorite headphone company because they're easily accessible and they're very open about battery life and things and just how good their products are. Now, if we're talking about warranties, I've never had to go through one myself. I normally go through Best Buy and different places where I don't have to talk to the manufacturer. I can go back right to the store immediately and just return the product or switch it out if something happens. That's how I do things. I don't do all that warranty nonsense. It's just too much work and too much of a headache. But again, their products do come with warranties. It'll let you know in the box if it's 1 year or 2 years or whatever it is. So with that being said, this is this section. Also, what I will say about this, which I didn't say in the I can't really call it an unboxing. These do come with different ear tips inside the box, along with the USB-C cable, of course, because it's USB-C. But again, I got mine for $15 used at a pawn shop, so instead of the $80 price tag. So I'm not complaining about a box or ear tips. Those are easily replaceable with any ear tips that you can find on Amazon or just at Five Below. Or if you have custom ones, you can definitely use them as long as they look similar to this guy right here where you pop that off. So just so you know. So that is a section of how to use the application. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm going to cut away right now, and lastly, we're going to talk about the actual quality of music and how that sounds. All right, so if we're talking about quality of music, what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull up some music that I personally made myself. We're going to take the headset out, and then in real time, we are going to talk about how that actually sounds. So with that being said, let's look at folders. Internal, that's not it. Let's do internal. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and take both of these out. I'm going to go ahead and put them in my ears. Of course, what I'm going to do right now is actually put my ear pod. If I actually record with earpods, I'm going to take that out, put that there. And I am going to talk a little loud because right now, unfortunately, it's in active noise cancellation. So all I hear is the vacuum, the suction. I don't hear anything else. I have to talk louder just to hear myself. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to play a couple songs and talk to you how I feel the song is, and you can determine, if you like what you like. And a lot of the music I made, I emphasized on the background music, hats, kicks, things like that, where I can individually hear how it blends in. It's not professional music, but it's a simple fact that that's how I like my sounds to be very, very rich. And this does a very good job of, wait for the beat to drop. Let me pull it up. All right. So when I did my beats, if anyone has ever used FL Studio, you can actually layer a beat. I'm very new at using that application. So what happens when I layer the beat, it's in a situation where I'll have the same beat or same bass stacked over and over again 2 or 3 times to get it to sound a certain way, or I mix certain basses, different ones, to get a particular type of sound. This sounds very, very good. It sounds very, very rich. I can hear all the background music. I can hear all the little subtle whistles, like at a certain part, the person's whistling in the background along with the boop, beep, beep, beep. Like the way I have this song is actually, you know what? Let me take this out so you guys can hear it. And then I'll explain it to you so it'll make it a lot easier because these sound beautiful. They sound really, really good. Like when I listen to the music quality on this compared to the call quality, it's like, whoa, what happened? Because the call quality is not A+. I give it like a 6 out of 10 for call quality. But if we're talking music quality, I'm giving these bad boys like it's a mid-tier market. So if we're talking mid-tier, I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10 just because of the mid-tier sounds. I'm not gonna give it a perfect 10, 9 out of 10 or so, because there are other earbuds that sound equally as good as this in the price range, if not better. But these do a very good job, and they check off a lot of checklists. So I'm gonna let you listen to the song. It's something that I made. It's very old, so judge me if you want. But but when I was describing the song, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. When certain parts of the song blends in, you hear clearly every single instrument, and it sounds really, really good. So as you hear the whistle. Okay, so like I was saying before, a lot of the songs that I used to make when I was younger, I just made random stuff. Now, obviously, it's nothing professional. There's nothing I certainly will release nowadays. But I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna be ashamed of what I did. I did it. It's mine. But let me take these AirPods away. Let me go ahead and reconnect this. Okay, so we're back. I had to reconnect my AirPod. It sounds very good. Like the music is super, super clear. It doesn't have anything like spatial audio or any of those features, but I don't really care about turning my head and the music changing anyway. I think that's idiotic in my opinion, because when I'm really vibing to a song or I'm playing, I don't know, a Doom soundtrack. It all ends with you, whatever that song is called, different things. I don't want to interrupt my music by turning and being able to hear other people. Spatial audio is cool, but it's not really good if you're in a situation where you're around other people, a public transportation system and things like that. It kind of takes away from noise cancellation when you have that. But if you're in the comfort of your own home, that's one thing. But this doesn't have that feature anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. The sound is just very, very good. The bass is very, very rich. Even when I listen to songs outside of what I make, it sounds really, really, really good. And these are very bass heavy. Not so bass heavy to the point where it was beats back in the day where it just completely crushed and ruined the song. It actually blends in very, very well. I would say, I'll be bold enough to say, because I tried making amateurish music, that I hear what the artist intended to hear, because it sounds exactly how I heard it when I used over the head headphones. And I'm actually like, all right, sounds good, sounds great. That's the way I wanted it to be. And it emphasized on, obviously the blending's not the best, but it emphasized exactly what I made, and I understood that, and I like it. So when you play R&B, different songs, things like that, some of your favorites, sure, you do have the option between using bass booster, which I have currently on, but if you take the bass booster off, the music's better, evenly, much more even. I'm just a bass head. That's what I like. But if you take the bass off and you do Euro beats, if you do Japanese music, Japanese animation, Korean music, whatever it is, you listen to Tokyo Ghoul, whatever you decide to listen to, this really brings out all the instruments that you can hear in the headset, and it sounds very, very rich. You have to remember, I'm not saying that this is better than AirPod Pros, that it isn't. I'm not saying it's better than Galaxy Bud 2s, because when it comes to just the quality of those earbuds, even at a higher volume, it holds its value better, it's smoother, and there's no crackling or anything. This doesn't have crackling, but you do hear a little muffledness if you decide to go higher and higher past 70 and 80%, which that's the danger zone when it comes to your eardrums anyway, so I never ever suggest that. But with that being said, I'm not even going to cut away to go to the last part. I'm just going to talk about, is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. For $80, I do think these headphones are very, very worth it. And the reason I say that is because if you look at these, and I wish I brought them with me, I didn't. There's the Liberty Air 2 Pros. Those are $129 regular. Then you have the Liberty Air Pro 3s or whatever they're called. These are $89, and they still retain the value of having active noise cancellation, which is very, very good. It has software updates, so any updates the other headphones are going to get, they're still going to support these, hopefully. Small case, good battery life. You get 28 hours in the case itself. You get 7 hours in a headset. Everything about it is good. Like if you like the P2 minis, if you like those other branded headphones that are cheaper than this one has better sound than those. Not saying that those sounds for those are bad, but you're going to instantly notice the difference because it has better drivers and they took more time to give you a richer experience. Even though a lot of times you'll see 11 millimeter drivers and 10 and things like that, you can't necessarily go based on those specifications, primarily because each headset might have a different type of speaker in it. So therefore, they're not all equal. And this definitely outdoes all those other Anker headphones I've done on the channel, such as the P2 Minis, the Life Note Cs, the Life Note 3S, the Neos. This is a better headset than all of those. And it still has that comfortability and the modern look of the headsets like Galaxy Buds and things, where it still looks aesthetically pleasing. It looks pleasing in the ear. It's not too heavy. It's just a all-around good headset. And at that $79.99 price point, I think these are better than Pixel Buds. I think they're better than regular AirPods. Not the call quality of regular AirPods, but it is better than the music quality of regular AirPod 2s and things like that. So it's the middle ground headset to go to, in my opinion. And I will say this, and I'm going to curse, they're better than those garbage ass Beat headphones, because those are terrible. I don't care if it's over the head. I don't care if it's in ear. Beats are a horrible headset, and it's a cash grab, money grab. And if I had to tell anyone, if you want quality of sound in addition to affordability, get these instead of Beats any day of the week. And people could challenge me, go buy yourself a pair of Ankers and compare the two, and you tell me based on the value which one is more. And if I haven't had any software issues and a bunch of one ear dropped out of nowhere and the case don't work and all that, I don't have those issues with this headset. And I had this headset for about 3 weeks now. And so the reason why some of my reviews don't come as fast, because I've been taking more time to actually do reviews on them, so I can give you guys more of an accurate assessment of how I feel about it. Of course, to each their own. But anyway, with that the video, I definitely think they're worth the $79. A lot of times you'll see them on sale on Amazon, or you see them on sale at Best Buy for a particular price. I say wait for the sale price. It normally drops down $20, $30 or so. And if you can get these for 60 or 50, whatever it is, definitely worth it. If you can't wait and you're looking for something that has ANC and all the features that you want outside of wireless charging, it's also a good headset to get. So with that being said, let me stop rambling. I made this long enough, and I'll see you guys in the next video.